Let me ask you something. 4 matches, 4 completely different stories, and yet somehow they all come back to the same question. Who's actually fit enough to still be standing when it matters? Welcome back. I'm your Aftermatch Gaffer, and today we're doing something a little different. No single match to dissect. Instead, we're looking at 4 group stage predictions for the 2026 World Cup, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you think travel miles are just a logistical footnote, you are badly wrong. This tournament is going to break teams that didn't budget for the journey, and I've done the numbers, so let's get into it. Let's start with the one that has everyone excited. Netherlands against Sweden. And look, I'll be direct with you, this is not the mouth-watering clash it sounds like on paper. This is going to be a grind. A proper, uncomfortable, nobody leaves happy kind of grind. You see what I mean? Netherlands are going to control the ball. That's not even a prediction, that's just describing gravity. They're going to have the ball, they're going to circulate it, and Sweden are going to sit in a 4-4-2 and pack the 2 wide channels so tight you couldn't slip a credit card through. Now here's the thing that I think people are sleeping on. Sweden's counter-attack is real. They have the pace to genuinely trouble Virgil van Dijk. And you know what? That matters enormously. Because the way Netherlands play, patient, probing, possession-heavy, they are naturally vulnerable to the quick transition. And when you've got Sweden's pace breaking on the counter, suddenly Van Dijk is being asked to sprint, to recover, to cover ground he shouldn't need to cover. That's a problem. That's a real problem. The travel situation here is almost a wash, by the way. Sweden flies something like 240 miles to Houston, Netherlands around 730. Accumulated across the tournament, there's a gap, but it's not decisive. Not for this one. Where it does get interesting is Houston itself, because they play in an air-conditioned stadium, right? So the physical toll of the climate is basically removed from the equation. And in that context, Sweden's compact defensive shape becomes genuinely menacing rather than just stubborn. When you're not gasping in Texas heat, you can actually execute the 4-4-2 press and drop back cycle for 90 minutes. I'm predicting a 1-1, maybe Netherlands nicking it 1-0 or 2-1, but I want to be clear. If Netherlands win, they're going to win ugly. They're going to scrape it, and at some point, someone has to say the quiet part loud. The problem is Ronald Koeman. That's where the ceiling is, not the squad, not the system, Ronald Koeman. Because a manager with a proper championship-winning formula running through his veins would find a way to unlock Sweden's defensive block and create cleaner opportunities. Instead, I suspect we're going to watch Netherlands do what Netherlands too often do under Koeman, have the ball, dominate the XG charts, and then look somehow uncomfortable doing it. Right. Germany against Cote d'Ivoire, and this one I find genuinely fascinating because on paper, Germany should be cutting through Cote d'Ivoire like a hot knife. Cote d'Ivoire's defensive record is concerning at best. They are going to give chances away. I want you to understand, this is not a team that defends with discipline or structure. Germany will have their moments, good moments, clear opportunities, but, and this is a big but, when Cote d'Ivoire turn it on offensively, they have pace, devastating, high-tempo, relentless pace. And here's where I think the analysis gets really interesting. Germany's technical players, the clever ones, the ones who make the system purr, they get pressed. They get pressed high and fast, and suddenly they're not the ones dictating the tempo anymore. And when the pace goes up in that Toronto environment, not particularly hot, which means both sides can actually sustain the high press, Germany's backline starts worrying. Not panicking, but worrying. You see what I mean? Their defensive line is not built for the kind of behind-the-curtain sprints Cote d'Ivoire can generate. Germany's cumulative travel by this point in the tournament is approaching 3,000 miles. Their first match was reportedly comfortable enough, but there's fatigue building in the system. Cote d'Ivoire, under 500 miles traveled total coming into this one. Fresh legs make a difference when the game becomes a sprint, and this game will become a sprint at some point, so I'm calling it 2-2 or 1-1. Both teams have the firepower to score, Neither team has the defensive reliability to keep a clean sheet when the other one is flowing. And I think Germany fans who are expecting a comfortable, controlled performance are going to be in for a genuinely stressful 90 minutes. The neutrals are going to love it though. That one's going to be box office. Ecuador against Curacao. Let's be honest about what this is. Ecuador should win this. They're the better team. They're organized defensively. And they're at a significant physical advantage coming into this match because the travel numbers are stark. Ecuador, roughly 1,190 accumulated miles. Curacao, nearly 4,000. And Curacao spent their last match sitting deep, defending compactly, which is physically exhausting in a completely different way from attacking football. You're constantly making small, reactive sprints, shifting across the block, recovering shape. It drains the legs, even when you're not charging forward. So Curacao arrive here on fumes, essentially. The match is in Kansas, evening kickoff, not brutal weather-wise. Ecuador should handle this. And yet, and this is what drives me mad about Ecuador, their finishing is not sharp. Their ability to convert chances, to be clinical in the final third, is genuinely questionable. Which means Curacao, even depleted, even ragged from travel, could stay in this thing longer than they have any right to. Curacao can counter, they have that in their locker. And Ecuador's defensive organization, while solid, is not impregnable. I'm going 2-1 or 1-0 Ecuador, but I wouldn't rule out a draw. Ecuador are the better team. It's normal for them to win, but there's a low-key risk here that people are underrating. If Ecuador miss 3 clear chances in the first hour, which is absolutely something they might do, suddenly you've got a nervous game and Curacao has nothing to lose and everything to gain from one good counter. And then there's the one I find most psychologically rich, Tunisia against Japan. And I want you to think about this not just tactically, but in terms of morale and fatigue. Japan have just played Netherlands. They've been through a war. Netherlands don't ease up on opponents, and Japan would have spent enormous physical and emotional reserves in that match. Now they fly 200 more miles to Monterrey, accumulated total pushing 2,540 miles. They arrive with tired legs and probably a tired mind. Tunisia, on the other hand, haven't moved. 2 consecutive matches without significant travel. They're rested. They're settled. And now they've changed their manager, which is the signal, right? That they're going to change their approach, right? New manager, compact defensive shape, sit deep, frustrate Japan, try to nick something on the break. That's the play. That's the only logical play. Why else do you bring in someone new mid-tournament? Now, here's my concern for Japan. When Japan face a deep, compact defensive block, they struggle. Their quality can dip against inferior opposition sitting in a low shape. They can become predictable. And there's a real version of this match where Japan find it suffocating and the goals simply don't come. The altitude in Monterrey is around 500 meters. Not extreme, but it's there. Evening kickoff keeps the heat manageable. And yet, I still back Japan to win. 2-1 or 1-0. Here's why. Tunisia's new manager has had almost no preparation time. You can organize a defensive shape on paper in a couple of days, but executing it with genuine cohesion against a quality side requires training ground repetition that they simply haven't had. Tunisia's compact defense in theory is one thing. Tunisia's compact defense in practice, with a brand new manager and a squad that's scrambling to absorb new instructions, is something else entirely. Japan are going to find gaps, maybe not quickly, maybe not comfortably, but they'll find them. The risk, and I'll be transparent about this, is that Tunisia decide that since defending is complicated with no preparation time, they just go direct, hit Japan with high tempo, long ball aggression, essentially grenade throwing football. That could hurt Japan badly, but I don't think it's enough to change the result. So there it is, 4 matches, Netherlands grinding past Sweden without ever convincing you. Germany and Cote d'Ivoire serving up beautiful, chaotic anarchy. Ecuador nervously doing just enough. And Japan finding a way through a Tunisia side that changed everything at the worst possible moment. The thread running through all of it, travel miles and fresh legs matter more than anyone wants to admit. This tournament is going to punish the teams that didn't think about the geography. And the teams that did are going to look very, very smart by the quarterfinals. I'll see you after the matches, and if I'm wrong about Germany, I'll own it. That's a promise. If you found this breakdown useful and you enjoy this kind of in-depth analysis, a like and a subscribe goes a long way in keeping this channel going and motivating me to keep producing more. Drop a comment below too. I read every single one. See you in the next one.